You reach for a cup in the kitchen and there it is, a tiny black spider sitting on the counter. Not hiding under the toaster, not running for the crack behind the wall, just sitting there in the open as if it has been waiting for you to notice. Then it moves. One sudden little hop, you freeze. Because this is not the kind of spider that slowly crawls away and disappears. This one turns its whole body towards you. Its front eyes face you. For a second, it almost feels like it is looking back, and that is usually the moment people grab a tissue, a spider near the dishes, a spider that jumps, a spider that stares, no thanks. But before you crush it, notice the strange part. It is not charging at you, it is not trying to bite you, it is watching something, and if you kill it too quickly, you may never know what it saw before you did. Most people do not give a jumping spider a second chance. They see the quick movement, the tiny legs, the sudden leap, and they make a decision in less than a second. Spider equals danger, jumping spider equals worse. And to be fair, it does not help its own reputation. A jumping spider moves in short, sharp bursts. It can vanish behind a plant pot, then appear on the wall. It raises its front legs like it is warning you. It turns to face you in a way most small creatures do not. Other spiders seem nervous around humans. This one seems aware. That is what makes it unsettling. A fly bumps into a window without understanding what glass is. A beetle may wander across the floor like it has no plan. But a jumping spider pauses. It looks, it adjusts, then it moves. And that tiny pause is the beginning of the whole mystery. Because the strangest thing about a jumping spider is not that it jumps. It is that it seems to think before it jumps. So what is it actually watching? The first answer is simple, but it changes the whole scene. The jumping spider on your wall is not wandering around randomly. It is scanning. Many spiders wait in webs. They build a trap and let the world come to them. But a jumping spider is different. It is an active hunter. It patrols windowsills, corners, porch lights, bathroom walls, garden leaves, and kitchen counters. It is not looking for you. It is looking for movement. A tiny gnat near a fruit bowl, a mosquito resting under the sink, a small fly on the window frame, a moth near the porch light. Something so small that you may walk past it 5 times and never notice it. But the spider notices. When it freezes and turns, that is not a threat display meant for you. It is aiming. It is locking on. Think about that little spider again, sitting on your kitchen counter. You thought it was staring at your hand, but maybe just beyond your cup, a fruit fly moved. Maybe something crawled along the edge of the sink. Maybe the spider saw a meal that you were too large, too distracted, and too annoyed to see. That is the first surprise. The spider was not looking for trouble, it was tracking it. But that raises an even stranger question. How can something so tiny seem to notice the room better than you do? The answer is in its eyes. Jumping spiders are built around vision in a way that feels almost unfair for an animal so small. Many spiders live through vibrations. They feel the tremble of a web, the touch of air, the movement of prey. Jumping spiders can sense vibrations too, but their great advantage is sight. Those large front eyes are not just for making them look cute or creepy. They help the spider see detail and judge distance. The smaller eyes around the head help detect motion from other directions, so when something moves nearby, the spider can turn toward it. That is why it seems to notice you. That is why it seems to follow you. It is not reading your thoughts, it is reading motion, and once it locks on, the jump is not a wild leap. It is a decision. The spider studies the distance. It adjusts its body. It chooses an angle. Sometimes before launching, it leaves behind a thin line of silk, like a safety rope. If the jump fails, that thread can help it recover. The thing that looked reckless is actually careful. The thing that looked creepy is actually precise, and its venom, the part people worry about most, is not meant for people. A jumping spider uses it to subdue tiny prey. Most jumping spiders are not considered medically dangerous to humans, and bites are uncommon. They usually happen when the spider is trapped, squeezed, or handled roughly. In other words, the creature you thought was ready to attack you was built to hunt things much smaller than your fingertip. But that is only half the story, because if a jumping spider is watching prey inside your home, then the next question becomes uncomfortable. What prey? Imagine it is late at night. The bathroom light has been off for hours. The house is quiet, the mirror is dark, a little moisture clings near the window. Under the edge of the frame, a tiny insect rests where you would never look. A gnat drifts near the damp glass. A small fly walks along the tile. Something even smaller moves near the corner where the wall meets the sink. Then the jumping spider appears. It comes from the shadow slowly, not rushing, not panicking. It stops, it lifts slightly. Its front eyes fix on the moving insect. For a few seconds, the whole room seems still. Then it shifts its body. Lower, closer, one clean jump. The insect is gone. By morning, you walk into the bathroom and see only the spider on the wall. And your first thought is, why is this thing still here? But during the night, while you were asleep, it was doing exactly what it was made to do. It was hunting in the small places humans ignore. And this is where the mystery deepens, because the spider may not be the problem in your house. It may be a clue. If you keep seeing a jumping spider near the same window, ask yourself why it keeps returning there. If it appears near a kitchen light, a houseplant, a bathroom corner, or a porch wall, it may not be lost. It may have found a good hunting spot. Tiny flies often gather around fruit, drains, damp soil, cracks, lights, or crumbs. Mosquitoes may rest in quiet corners. Gnats may rise from overwatered plant pots. Small moths may drift toward lamps at night. The spider did not bring those insects in, it found them. That is the twist most people miss. You think you have caught a spider invading your space, but the spider may have already caught something else invading first. It is not always a warning sign. One spider does not mean you have a serious problem, but it can make you look at the room differently. Why that corner? Why that window? Why that plant? Why does the spider keep watching the same place? Suddenly, the little hunter on the wall is not just a creepy visitor. It is pointing your attention towards something smaller and easier to miss, and that is when the whole story changes. The jumping spider is not there to scare you. It may be quietly removing tiny insects you did not even know were there. Not perfectly, not magically, it will not fix a real pest problem on its own. It will not replace cleaning your kitchen, emptying standing water, checking drains, sealing gaps, or letting soggy plant soil dry out. But in the places it hunts, it can help. A small predator eating small pests. A tiny watcher patrolling the edges of your home. That does not make it a pet. It does not mean you need to let it crawl across your dinner plate. But it does mean the first response does not have to be panic. So what should you do when you see one? First, do not crush it immediately. Watch where it is. If it keeps showing up near plants, check the soil for gnats. If it sits near a window, look for tiny flies or cracks. If it appears near a bathroom, check for moisture. If it is near food or somewhere you really cannot leave it, use a cup and a piece of paper. Move it outside to a sheltered wall, a plant, or a quiet corner. Do not handle it with bare hands. Do not squeeze it. Do not turn a harmless encounter into a bite risk by trapping it against your skin. And most importantly, ask the better question, not how do I kill it, but what is it hunting here? Because at first, that spider looked like a problem. A tiny black shape on the counter, a sudden jump, a pair of eyes that made it feel too aware. But now it looks different. Now it looks like a hunter that noticed movement before you did. A creature measuring the room in silence. A small life built around attention, patience, and one perfect leap. The next time a jumping spider stops and turns toward you, you may still feel that first little shock. That is normal, but pause for 1 second longer. Look at the corner nearby. Look at the window. Look at the plant, because it may not be watching you at all. It may be watching the tiny thing you missed. And once you understand that, the spider on the wall is no longer just something creepy waiting to jump. It becomes something else. A quiet little hunter standing guard in plain sight.